Elfreda Jonker. I'm the Client Portfolio Manager at Alphinity Investment Management. Today I have Chris Willcocks with me. He's one of our global portfolio managers and also the analyst on the industrial sector. He's recently been on a trip specifically for the sector to the US. So today we will be discussing some of the key points around that trip. So Chris, as a starting point, tell us, where did you go and who did you see?
I went to the US this time. It was a quick trip, just a week. It was seeing all the leading industrial companies, both US and Europe. It was mostly CEOs and CFOs all in Florida for a couple of conferences back to back.
Okay, great. So let's talk high-level themes firstly. Are there a few that you can highlight for us?
It was quite an interesting conference from a timing perspective. Companies had just reported earnings and President Trump had just moved into the White House.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting from a timing perspective, but I would say overall the commentary from most management teams was fairly cautious. They're dealing with quite a number of cross currents of challenges. So they've got tariffs were being talked about at the time. You had issues with the Chinese economy. You had geopolitics playing out, as well as the possibility of growth perhaps slowing on the consumer side.
Yeah.
So companies themselves were quite cautious, but probably no more cautious than I expected. Investors were much more cautious than I expected.
Okay.
So that they were probably the sort of two takeaways from a high level. Drilling down a little bit further, end markets that still sounded very good were aerospace, electrical grid, waste management companies.
Okay.
End markets that still sounded pretty tough were transport, agriculture still pretty hard as well.
Okay, so similar to the trends from last year,
Yep.
continuing.
More broadly, the two takeaways that I brought back were one around tariffs. It was very, very clear to me that industrial companies, which do sit in the crosshairs of tariffs, they tend to import a lot of goods across borders, whether that be across from Mexico or in from China. They are very confident, or at least they are intending to pass those tariffs on to their customers.
Okay.
Whether that sticks or whether it destroys demand is yet to be seen, but it was very clear that they are looking to pass those tariffs on. Some companies had already put surcharges on, the tariffs hadn't even started. So that was number one. The second key theme from the week of meetings was short cycle companies. So these are companies that you order something from them, they book it out, it ships the next day. They've had a recession for 2 years. PMIs have been below 50 for over 24 months straight, with the exception of 1 month.
Yes.
But they all sounded actually a little bit better.
Okay.
So you had Dover talking about orders inflecting. Parker Hannafin's orders inflected last quarter for the first time. You had Old Dominion talking about better volumes starting to come through, or at least sentiment from their customers. You had Rockwell, the CEO. So Rockwell's an automation business, a large automation business in America. Their CEO got up on stage and presented, and when he finished, he said, "If you're hearing a more optimistic tone in my voice versus last year, that's not a mistake."
Okay.
So short cycle sounded a little bit better, but I'd caveat that with this was pre-tariffs being imposed.
Yes.
And these businesses, the very nature of them, they can turn quite quickly.
Okay, so if we take it down to the portfolio level, I know we have quite a range of industrial investments currently. If we were to choose one area to focus on, waste connections. Tell us, what was the read-through for that sector specifically?
Sure. So I mentioned that the waste industry sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
We met with Waste Connections, Waste Management, Republic Services. They're the three major players. The whole industry sounds quite good. The opportunity to roll up and continue to consolidate what is quite a fragmented industry continues to be as good as we thought it was last year. What surprised me from the meetings was that pricing sounds a little bit better than I'd expected. So pricing is remaining quite robust. The companies are having a good opportunity to price above costs. Margins are expanding. So we still like Waste Connections. We had a really good couple of meetings with them.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Chris, and thank you for listening. For more information, please visit our insights section on alphinity.com.au for a more detailed note on Chris and the rest of the global team's travels. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.